as of June 2025, the national government's total outstanding debt stands at 16.75 trillion. And for next year's budget, almost 978 billion is being allocated for debt servicing. In your opinion, how sustainable is that in terms of debt repayment? And what are the risks also associated with that?
Well, it's beginning to be alarming, to be honest, for economists, because beyond the absolute level of the debt, what we're looking at or what we're worried about would be the ratio of the debt to GDP, or otherwise known as the debt to GDP ratio. And as of June, because the latest GDP figures have been released, it's now up to 63.1%, which is higher than 62% back in March. So in other words, the debt to GDP ratio has been inching up actually in the past couple of months at a rather alarmingly fast rate. So we have to watch out for this because I think the debt now stands at 17 trillion pesos. A large part of it would be domestic debt. But as the Budget Secretary mentioned earlier in your report, there's very limited fiscal space. The deficit is about 1.5 trillion pesos last year, and that could be the same this year or even more. So unless the government, so that kind of explains why the government is so eager to tax as many goods as possible without incurring the ire of Filipinos. What that signals is that there are in desperate need for money, but at the same time, I think one way to save on money would be to actually be prudent in spending. However, the flood control projects are still there, the road networks are still there. We haven't learned our lesson. It's more or less similar to what has happened last year, but we'll have to see how the BICAM actually.
Well, there are other ways to control floods than building infrastructure. It seems to be the favorite solution.